information you want?
Voting is from October 22nd to November 2nd. You can go anywhere in your county. Voting ends on November 2nd. Vote or vote. It's important. Talk to your family and friends. Tell them about Beto.
Go Beto!
Let's hear it one more, Jose. Let's hear it for President Napolis and his wife, the Let's hear it for Lonestar College. Thank you all for inviting us to be here with you. Taking some time out of your life to participate in your democracy. We're here for everyone. So if you are a Republican, you're in the right place. If you're a Democrat, you're in the right place. Independents, welcomed. Non-voters, because of your immigration status, because you have yet to register to vote, because you're still involved with the criminal justice system, I'm glad that you're here as well. However you got here, before we see each other as Republicans or Democrats or Independents, we're going to treat one another like Texans, Americans, and human beings. That's the way that we will distinguish ourselves at this moment of truth. At a time that the people of the future are counting on us, the people of 2018, who still have a chance to do this. Estamos poniendo para cada persona, cada comunidad en este estado, en cada condado 254, para cada queja, cada oportunidad, incluyendo migración, cuidado de salud, la necesidad de tener trabajo y para tratar cada persona con respeto y dignidad como merecen como humanos. Así podemos ofrecer un ejemplo a los otros estados, a mis colegas en el Congreso y en el Senado. Un ejemplo de Texas, an example from Texas. Here we are in one of the most diverse states in the country, in the most diverse city in the United States of America. It's nothing to defend or apologize for. It's everything to celebrate, to show and set as an example for the rest of the country. For those of you who know my hometown of El Paso, Texas. More of you know what I'm talking about. Let me just tell you. The city in which I was raised, where Amy, sometimes with the help of her husband Beto, raising Ulysses, who's 11, Molly, who's 10, Henry, who is 7 years old. We are one half of the largest binational community in this hemisphere, maybe the world. 3 million from 2 countries, speaking 2 languages, joined, not separated, by the Rio Grande River, forming something far greater, more profound, more magical than the sum of the parts or the people. A city, El Paso, Texas, which may very well be one of, if not the safest cities in the United States of America, because we have world-class local law enforcement, police, and sheriff's deputies, but also because, and not in spite of the fact, that we are a city of immigrants, that people from all over the world chose us, left their home, their family, their country, sometimes their comfort, their culture, their language, to start anew, to become strangers in a strange land, to do better here for themselves and their kids, but yes, also to do better for us, to contribute to and not take from the American dream. I would argue that children from the in the world today, doing what any human being would do in the same situation. I know that Amy and I, because we talked about it, what we would do. This was the only way that we could save our kids' life. The country in which we lived could not assure their safety, and I knew that there was one country on this planet, a country comprised of asylum seekers and refugees and immigrants from the world over, whose very strength is the fact that we are people of the planet and we come together here in this one place. And we do something absolutely extraordinary, the envy of the rest of the world. To come here, trying to save that kid's life, to find not the safety or the salvation that you sought, for which you were willing to risk your own life, but instead your worst nightmare, that child taken from you, by force, if necessary, babies torn from their mother's breast, those moms, those dads turned over to the Department of Justice, prosecuted like common criminals, deported back to the very countries from which they fled in the first place. That kid may be turned over to a foster care home, or sent to a tent city in Tornillo, a community just outside of El Paso in the Chihuahuan desert. Months later, knowing not when, or even if we're going to see that mom or that dad again, the most important person in their lives. And we know that every day that this persists in a democracy, the government is the people and the people are the government. Though this were the decision of just one man initially, it's on all of us every single day that it continues. And because we've met those families, lucky enough to be reunited, we know that each additional day does lasting harm to these kids. We were there in El Paso, Loretto Chapel, with Annunciation House, who were facilitating some of these family reunions. We saw kids, 7 years old, seeing their parents for the first time in months. And instead of a big smile on that kid's face, instead of tears of joy and recognition rolling down their cheeks, there's nothing. Just a vacant expression on their face, an inability to connect with the most important person in their life, the person with whom they associate the greatest pain a human being can ever feel. What we know is that this is torture. We know it is cruel. We know it is inhumane. It is up to us, and every single one of us, to decide whether or not Texas, the defining border state, the one that bore witness to this tragedy firsthand, is going to insist that never again do we take another child from another parent, and that we reunite. This defining immigrant story that is Texas, to take the next important step. Those dreamers who call this community, this state, this country their home, those dreamers who are being taught in the classrooms, those dreamers who are teaching in the classrooms in a country where 20,000 dreamers, despite their status, are willing to sacrifice their lives to public service to better the lives of others. Those dreamers who are being defended by those women and men in uniform who have their lives on the line in Afghanistan, Iraq, Syria, Libya, Yemen, Somalia, Niger tonight. Also, there are dreamers whose lives are on the line in those same countries. Those dreamers, in any way that's meaningful, are just as American as anyone else in this country, and we must treat them with we can rewrite our immigration laws in our own image. Make sure that they reflect who we are, our experiences, our values, what we know to be true. We can pander not to the fear, but define ourselves by our ambitions. It's not just the eyes of the world that are watching, not just our fellow Texans who care. It's the people of the future who want to know while we still have the chance that we got this right. We want them to look back on us with pride, grateful for the decisions that we made, having the courage of our convictions. I want to look back in their history books, Finally, we've allowed the construction of a 2,000-mile wall, 30 feet high, at a cost of $30 billion. It will cause us to take your farm, your ranch, your home, because it won't be built on the international boundary, which is the middle of the Rio Grande River channel. It will be built miles into the interior, forcing us to take somebody else's property. If we do that, we deserve the condemnation of history, of our kids and our grandkids. We and more courageous than that, in a state where the largest provider of mental health care services today is the Harris County Jail. Check this out. You're suffering from schizophrenia, bipolar disorder, you're uninsured, which means you can't take yourself to a therapist or a psychologist or a social worker or a psychiatrist. That pain becomes so unbearable that you get arrested on purpose, where by law we have to feed you, house you, clothe you, prescribe the psychotropic medications that make life bearable for you at a cost of $400 a night. The taxpayers here in this community, that's all of us. Not only are you locked up, so is your potential to finish your education, work a job, pay taxes, shoulder your fair share of the burden so that it rests a little bit lighter on everybody else. Raise your family, rock out in a band, tour the country, run for office. Whatever you're going to do, I want you to be well enough to do it. Not only is it morally the right thing to do, not only does it make us be more just people to make sure that everyone can get the care that they need in this, the wealthiest, the most powerful country in the world, whose citizens, through their tax dollars, came up with the research and the innovations that were turned into the cures and the medications that are sold back to us at some of the most expensive rates in the developed world today. Not only can we do better from the moral perspective, but if we want to be as fiscally responsible and conservative as possible, we can make this choice. $400 a night to keep someone locked up because that's the only place they can go, or $14.50 a day to provide outpatient mental health care services. Allow that person to be free to do those things that they were intended to do in their lives. Are you all with me on this?
Early voting starts on October 22nd to November 2nd. You can go anywhere in your county. And then